A few moments later.
Well, this is a rather interesting complaint. Mr. Iarussi, according to your complaint, you became involved with the defendant's campaign when he decided to run for mayor of New York City. And I gather from your papers and from his response that he decided to run for mayor because he had developed a certain celebrity, because the character of KRAMER from that wonderful Seinfeld program was fashioned after him. Is that right, sir?
This is a fact, Your Honor.
You're much better looking. So you became involved with this fiasco because even I'm sure Mr. KRAMER agreed it was a fiasco.
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Well,
that was a serious intent at the time I began this campaign.
Mr. KRAMER, New York City is an interesting place. And I've lived in New York most of my adult life. And having seen you, sir, and having watched your character for many, many years, I will tell you that you're an interesting character, but I wouldn't let you run a city. We've had that already in New York. So, you became involved in this fiasco.
Yes, Your Honor.
That I assume you believe you're an intelligent human being?
I believe so, most of the time.
And you are a New Yorker.
Yeah, a New Yorker.
So, as a New Yorker, you're supposed to have a certain amount of common sense, know where it's at, know what's real, know what's not real, know when it's raining, know when somebody else is doing something on your leg. You're supposed to know all those things, right?
Well, I did live in Texas for 8 years.
So you became involved with this thing sort of on the lark.
Something like that. Yes.
How many signatures, sir?
7,500.
How many did you get?
We got over 7.
Did you pay anybody else for getting signatures?
No, Your Honor.
Then you decided enough of this foolishness and I'm throwing in the towel.
It became a lot of work.
What kind of work do you usually do?
I run a reality tour, the KRAMER's reality tour, my show for Seinfeld fans. It's a multimedia romp through the world of Seinfeld, and I have a stage show based on it. So basically, I travel around the country, and I run this tour in New York City every weekend, and that's what I've been doing for a livelihood.
Well, what are you going to do when Seinfeld goes off the air? You're going to have to get a real job, Mr. KRAMER.
I doubt it very much, because, there's only 39 Honeymooner episodes, and that's still here, so Seinfeld will finish with 177 as part of the world's cultural landscape.
Mr. KRAMER, what did you do before Jerry Seinfeld made you an icon?
I managed to live through my own entrepreneurial ways. I did stand-up comedy for a number of years. I invented electronic jewelry. I managed a rock reggae band. I had everything to avoid actual work, I might add.
I'm glad you added that. Tell me how he promised to pay you.
Well, let's go back a little and help. We actually met at a conference sometime in 1997, and I was putting together some articles, and I had wanted to do an article on KRAMER for some Far Eastern magazines. So anyway, KRAMER, I went on the reality tour, and I have to admit it's a great tour, and I enjoyed it, and had a lot of fun. And so right after that, I started putting some articles together on KRAMER, and on April 22nd, I had gotten a letter inviting me to share a moment of history with the real KRAMER at 6 p.m. at the Cafe St. Francis. So I went there, and KRAMER talked had about 5 or 10 people there, and they talked about his intention to run for mayor, and people got to get to various positions to.
I gather you had a conversation with him where it was discussed that you had certain expenses and what we were going to do about it, if anything. And he said, we'll try to take care of some of your expenses. If we can't, we'll try to work out some other way to make you happy. Is that about it? How does that translate into 50 cents a signature?
No, that translated into a money amount where we also talked about personal appearance.
Just a second. Was there any time frame with regard to this personal appearance?
I emailed KRAMER on July 10th, and he responded saying, let me know the date and time.
So did you tell him? Did you give him a date and time?
I did, but he was no, not a definite one because he was out of town.
So, did you give him a date when you wanted him to appear and give him sufficient time so that he wasn't doing all this traveling so he could appear for you? The answer is yes or no?
Yes.
And when was that?
July 10th, 1997.
Do you remember receiving that email?
I may have, Your Honor, but as Mr. Ruzzi said, I have been traveling a great deal. But, one thing I'd like to make clear now, the dispute that he claims is about these signatures. But I'd like to just enter into evidence, if I may, some of these sheets of signatures.
Listen to me. You don't have to bother. Because I find that there was no agreement with regard to payment for signatures.
Well, even if there was, the signatures are totally invalid. There are 16 to 15 signatures on our page. Every one of them is women. He's just
What's wrong with women?
Well, and many of them from illegible. You can't read signatures. You can't, so the point is, if you're paying for signatures, it should be a valid signature.
Mr. Kramer, I haven't heard any testimony that is in any way persuasive that there was a contract, even if it was as an independent contractor for him to be paid for those signatures. What I have heard is, and what I tend to believe, is that he was supposed to be in some way compensated for all the hard work that he did. There was never a fixed amount, but that you did in fact assure him that you would make a personal appearance for him at one of his fundraisers. Now, isn't that true?
That is true, yeah.
And all I'm trying to find out is whether you welched on that agreement.
And I'm available to make a personal appearance at any time
When?
and date that I'm available for.
Well, then this is perfect. We have a fine resolution to this case. Sir, I find that there was no contractual arrangement between you and the defendant to pay for the signatures. However, I do find that you did agree, either himself or through his manager, to compensate you for some out-of-pocket expenses, and you agreed to take the services of Mr. Kramer in compensation, or in lieu of, the dollar amount that Mr. Kramer has indicated that he is prepared to follow through with that. So it's been a pleasure meeting you. I wish you continued success in case of this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Step out. Back into your right.
I just want to say you're president to the KRAMER campaign, and I just want to say that at no time did KRAMER actually profit towards the campaign. Okay, I just want to make that very clear, because we are in a sort of semi-media setting. I just want to make that clear.
My duties were to get people to volunteer for the campaign, and anything I could do along that line, and also go out and get signatures myself.
And you got enough bloody New Yorkers.
I got a lot of signatures. I got the
Right.
best there is of signatures getting, and Kramer will attest to that.
You got a lot of signatures, a lot of good-looking women. A lot of signatures you couldn't use because they weren't citizens, but they were good.
So anyway, there was a time in the campaign where I was putting a lot of time, so I had talked to the treasurer about not being able to do this because it was too time consuming and needed to work something out. And he says, well, let me throw some money your way, and we'll have some money coming in. And I could ask what's the standard rate for signatures, and it's pretty much 50 cents a signature in New York if you do that. Go out and get signatures. So I agreed to that with him, and went
Where is he?
going.
He couldn't be here today, Your Honor.
You didn't bring him here. You can't tell me what he said to you. You can't tell me that he agreed.
I couldn't get in touch with him.
That's not my problem, so that's your problem.
So
Tell me
anyway,
what conversations you had with the defendant.
so Kenny and I had some conversations after that, and after the campaign was over, Kenny decided to back out of the campaign and not go any further. We both had other work in different ways, and Kenny started traveling a little, and he was really out of pocket. And I had something coming up where I figured, well, then if there isn't money in the campaign, or I'm not able to get in touch with his campaign treasurer, maybe he could do some appearances for me, and he agreed he would do an appearance for fundraising. But he was also very busy, and I did keep trying to reach him, and there was never, anger about this. It's just,
So when did you get angry, Mr. Irasumi?
well, I never got angry. I think he's a wonderful person, he's a good human being. I just think he owes me money.
Just a second. Well, when did you decide that you wanted the money?
About a month ago.
I have a couple of questions for you. Did you ever have a direct conversation with Mr. Kramer where Mr. Kramer said that he was going to pay you for working on this campaign?
No, I did not.
So, is there any other person here that you had a direct conversation with who was attached to his campaign?
Well, I talked to
Guaranteed-
Johnson.
Shh.
Yes.
You didn't hear my question. Is there another person here who was attached to his campaign who you had a conversation about payment of 50 cents each for the signatures that you gathered? How was that? Where is he?
He's seated to the left.
Step up here, sir.
I was Kenny's campaign manager and the whole time before that meeting began. We had hoped the campaign would be a little more successful. What we had thought would be, we had hats and pins and bumper stickers and t-shirts made, and we hoped that those funds would be able to kick off the campaign as far as the fundraising goes. And that never materialized. We had felt that the mayor
People in New York aren't that stupid.
well, no, we had felt that the
Could you
mayor...
answer my question? Could you answer the question for me? This is not a catharsis for you, sir.
No, it's not.
Did you ever,
No.
as campaign manager,
No,
how come you always answer this? I feel like Johnny Carson and Karnak. They answer my question before I ask the question. Listen to me. Did you ever was going to be paid for gathering signatures.
Yes, we had spoken. And
About what?
about some money for out-of-pocket expenses because people were traveling on the subway by themselves.
Right.
There were times, and I know there was a rainstorm, and I was caught with a bunch of people, and I went for a few rounds, you know. So there
What
was.
does that mean?
Well, I paid for a few.
Sir, do you underestimate the charges against you? Yes, Your Honor. I lent money, but I have no proof. Yes, say you loaned money to the district, but where money? In the evidence, I remember I did. He promised to pay me back. Your story sound unbelievable, like a sitcom. I am telling the truth. Just it is real without. Prove this my money back to case dismissed for lack of evidence.